Here we are at example 6 from the 0.2 set of notes. We're asked to sketch the graph of this particular function, and we can see that we are actually in that first case scenario where the degree on the bottom is larger than the degree on the top. And as a result of that, we have this rational function for the horizontal asymptote coming out to be y is equal to 0. There really is a plus k here. It just happens to be 0. And so when you have 0 from this first part and add nothing to it, you still end up with just 0. So that's going to be our horizontal asymptote. When we move on to our vertical asymptote, oops, get rid of one of these. When we move on to now our VA, still following that same procedure where we set the bottom not equal to 0. So we have x plus 3 is not equal to 0. Now going ahead and solving for that value, we end up with just x is not equal to -3. Now going ahead and graphing these things, I'm going to go ahead and do that in red to signify our electric fence. And then -3 as our VA. So now when we go ahead and find out our table of values, we have our x and our y. Let's see what x values will work, and let's see which ones y's will work. So if we go ahead and throw thinking numbers to the left of -3, that VA, like we can throw in -4, -5, -6. Let's go with those. -4, -5, -6. Ones to the right, well, we can throw in like -2, -1, and 0. Let's try those. So if we go ahead and throw in -4, we have -2 on top divided by -4 plus 3 is -1. So ultimately, we have -2 divided by -1, which just comes out to be +2. When we throw in -5, we still have -2 on top over -5 plus 3 is -2, which just comes out to be +1. When we try 6, we end up with -2 still on top over -6 plus 3 is -3. So ultimately, that'll just come out to be 2/3. When we plug in -2, we end up with -2 still on top over -2 plus 3 is +1, so that'll just come out to be -2. When we try -1, we have -2 on top over -1 plus 3 gives us -2. I'm sorry, +2. And then -2 divided by +2 just comes out to be -1. When we plug in 0, we have -2 on top over 0 plus 3 is just 3, so that'll just come out to be -2/3. Going ahead now and graphing these things, we have -4, 2. So -4, 2 is right here. -5, 1 is right here. -6, 2/3 is right here. And again, this was on the left side. On the right, when we go ahead and throw those points up, we end up with -2, -2. So we have -2, -2 down here. -1, -1. And then 0, -2/3. Right there. Just connecting those dots, then we end up with an image that should look something at least like that. And there is what our graph should actually resemble. Let's go ahead now and talk about the domain and range. So x can be pretty much anything except where x is reaching this vertical asymptote at -3. So we have X is starting out at negative infinity because it's going out forever and ever for our X values. And then it's approaching this vertical asymptote 3. Can't quite reach 3, so again, that's why we have a parenthesis. Union. Then on the right side, it kind of like jumps that electric fence at negative 3. Oops, that should be a negative 3. We end up with negative 3, and then our X values are going out forever and ever in the positive direction. So positive infinity. And again, for our domain, that just includes all real numbers except where X is not equal to negative 3. For our range, well, we're starting out, again, range is just the Y values. We're starting out at negative infinity. Can't quite reach negative infinities, so that's why they will always have parentheses around them. And then we're approaching that horizontal asymptote of 0. Can't quite reach that, so again, we have a parenthesis around him. Then it also jumps over to the left side at 0. And then goes upwards towards positive infinity. So that would include all real numbers, except where Y is not equal to 0. So again, that is example 6 from the 0.2 set of notes.